Folks, this is one of the most sickest and disturbing videos I've ever done. I was asked during the recent events on the tragic, vicious, racist, disturbing, disgusting murder of a 14-year-old from Chicago named Emmett Till. I'm sure everyone has heard of this. How Carolyn Bryant, the woman he was supposed to have molested or grabbed and used profanity at her, told a complete bold-faced lie. Emmett Till was born July 25th, 1941 in Chicago. And he was visiting some relatives in Money, Mississippi. I know you already know. And after 6 decades, Carolyn Bryant Dunham, at the time Carolyn Bryant, made all these extravagant terms in plain on modern English that she was, shall we say, this young 14-year-old Negro came in and did something and said some horrible things to her and threatened her. And remember, Emmett Till was kidnapped days later from a relative's home and then beaten to death, mutilated. They chopped him all in his face, shot him in his head several times by Dunham, shot on her husband at the time, Roy Bryant, and half-brother J.W. Miller. The body was sunk in the Tallahatchie River, where it was eventually found floating. After a highly publicized trial, all-white jury, you know that, Bryant and Miller was acquitted of Till's kidnapping and murder in September of 1955 by an all-white male jury. They deliberated for an hour. Now the thing is, the prosecutors are even saying now that this woman, they don't care how old she is, they quite naturally don't want to reveal her whereabouts, should be prosecuted. She caused a horrible, racist murder and death of a child, a 14-year-old kid, which every black American knew at the time. Nobody talked like that. That was 1955 in Mississippi. Nobody talked like that in New York or Chicago. That didn't start happening until after, well, I won't go there. I started to say integration. Let me tell you something. What a horrible way for a young child. That started, the actual started of the civil rights movement. And let me tell you, 60 years later, what has improved? In 1947, top working African Americans, or Negro or black, were making 53 cents out of every dollar that a white man was making. After listening to all these so-called civil rights leaders, most of which did not have the same vision as Dr. King, even he changed that. That's why, if you notice, if you really read and study Dr. King, he wasn't very well liked before he was assassinated, because he changed from "I have a dream" to "look here." He was shocked to see in 1965 there were some farmers in the South that had never even seen a actual dollar bill. He said, we need economic equality. That's when they put him down. So now, all these civil rights marches, all these people getting killed, from the 1965 march up until now instead of getting 53 cents a dollar in 1947 and 48, now we're only getting 59, the actual top earner, only getting 59 cents out of every dollar a white American is getting. So what has improved? Have integration did all? We have to keep God first. You see this is a tragedy. This woman, 82 years old, she should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. She lied. What a vicious, rotten, nasty thing to do. And this has been going on for centuries. The first person who died in the Revolutionary War was a black man by the name of Crispus Attucks. See, a lot of the history you're reading, especially coming from, well, a lot of it, even Glenn Beck and a lot of other Fox associates, when they gave that special, were written, but it was black. A lot of black history, some of it was written by the people who lost the Civil War. That's why you have all this false narrative that a lot of the schools teach. But this is a horror and a tragedy. Do you understand this? Those two brothers of hers, they should have put them in prison, and they should have went to the electric chair for executing that. They didn't. They slaughtered them. They murdered that little innocent 14-year-old. Look at all the black people they've murdered and lynched for nothing. Now, I'm not a hater. I'm not a racist. But this is the further America get away from God, the more disgusting crime. Because now you're seeing everything that you fought for. You know, the entire civil rights paper were taken down since Donald Trump took office. Do you know that? How horrible. What has changed? Black men and women, we need to unite and build up our own community. Do you understand it? Research your bank, see what the parent companies are. Make sure that their parent companies are Bank of America or some other institution that are owned by central banks or races. Make sure it's, you know, FDIC backed, and put your money in black owned banks and buy black. Build up your own communities. Your money's supposed to bounce 6 to 7 times before it leave your community. Now, the most dangerous place to be is between a black person on payday in the mall owned by Arabs or somebody else. And I'm not racist. But build up your own community. The Jewish money stay in their community 19 times before it leaves. Remember, nobody was coming thousands of miles across the sea or across the desert to be a friend to oppressed black people. Now it's our fault. Build up your own community. Keep God first. Build up God first. Put your trust in God. God will never lead you wrong. All this is caused by sin. And you know what most people, the whole thing with slavery will do for unearned benefits. Read John Brown, not the abolitionist, the slave. There are tens of thousands of narratives of the slave. 16 and 17 hours, 6 days a week. They call him the box man. He shipped himself to the Northeast in a box. The slave owner stumped his eye because he worked him almost 20 hours, and the guy stole the watermelon. And the blacksmith had to beg the man not, don't hit him, master, don't, he's all right. He was just a little hungry. That's where these guys live. Never mind what Bill O'Reilly, womanizing, draft dodging racist, and Giuliani. Never mind what these people say. Do your research. Get in your books. Stop all this gangster talk and build up your community. This is a disgust and a disgrace. No lie can live forever. Somebody's going to pay for this. God will see to that. He who keeps Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. I'm not mad, just disgusted. Do you see this? Poor Emmett Till. God rest his innocent soul. The whole thing was, I'll bet you won't go in there and whistle at this one woman. That's all it was. He didn't grab her, threaten her, and grab her hand and told him all the affairs he did this before. This is 14-year-old. And those two racist idiots and this buffoon did cause that. God forgive me. No, this woman caused it. It didn't. Now she's admitting this after in a book. The blood of Emmett Till. 60 years later. God have mercy on her soul. She should be prosecuted. America is better than this. What? The land of the free and the home of the brave. By a race of people who are brought here to work as slaves for people who wouldn't work for themselves. That's all it is. But everybody's not a racist. All white people are not racist. Just like all black people are not racist. All black people didn't come out of single family home. My mother and father were together all my life. Both of my grandparents, all of my aunts and uncles on both sides, all of the cousins and my nieces and nephews, all of them, they are still married to this day to their same spouse. My first neighbors were Italian. I was educated in parochial school. I didn't go to public school at first. That was years later. The fact is, this look, they lynched the guy right there in Texas, dragged him behind the truck. This is last year before last. You understand? This kid, young athlete from school, went into a restaurant. The guy called him in. Donald Trump is in office now. I have 3 restaurants and want you to get your NAS out. We don't want any blacks in any of our stores. This was said just yesterday. Read it. Build your own community. You had more business in the 1920s and the 1960s than you did after supposedly integration. The policy of benign neglect by Daniel Patrick Moynihan to Richard Nixon finished off civil rights as we knew it. But he who keeps Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God said, let us make man in our own image. Every deed will be brought before the God of this universe. You'll pay for this. God is good, and I love you. Keep God first. Pray for this country, God, and pray for these leaders, that God put good godly leaders in control. God rest Emmett Till innocent soul. Just pray, folks. Pray for our country. I'm not angry, just disturbed at this. Has the narrative changed? What do you think? Brothers and sisters, and to all of us who are listening, I'm just not telling you to hate anybody. Love yourself. God created you. You who fought in every battlefront. You who spilt blood on every shore. They think they forgot you, but God didn't. And God bless all of our brothers and sisters, white, black, and all. But black folks, especially our young, love yourself. Get educated. Put God first. Build your community. God bless.